Here's a simple little application that when I click this button saying create sentence, creates a sort of a nonsense sentence using some adjectives, some nouns, some verbs, some prepositions, and some articles. And so I click the button, I got some obnoxious dill pickle daintily danced about the green police officer. The happy lumberjack begrudgingly soared about some small kitchen sink. And at least one triumphant dentist slowly sang by the grinning horse. Well, let's take a look at how these sentences are generated, because they're generated randomly, and we're using arrays to do that. So here's my project. I have a text box named sentence_txt and a button named new_btn. And here is my code. So I start off by creating some arrays. So I have an array named article, and in that array I have several articles of speech. Some, the, a, at least one. And then I have an array called noun. Duck, elephant, student, dentist, lumberjack, butterfly, coffee cup, kangaroo, platypus, grasshopper, horse, teacher, police officer, banker, congressman, helicopter, and so forth. Pretty extensive list there, including the kitchen sink. And then I have verbs, and I made them all past tense. Danced, played, sang, screamed, walked, jumped, soared. Adjectives is another array. Quickly, slowly, silently, noisily, begrudgingly, gently, groggily. Is that a word? I'm not sure if that's a word. Clearly. And then another array called adjective. Small, green, pink, red, blue, grinning, laughing, glowing, triumphant, obnoxious, silent. And then finally I have an array called prep. Over, on, around, near, at, far away from, about, underneath, next to. I have a variable called sentence, which is going to be a string, a variable called next word, which is a string, and a variable called I that I'm going to use in generating some random numbers. So when I click the new button, these are all global arrays, so I can reference them in my function. And when I click the new button, it's going to call this function called create sentence. And all I'm doing is using Math.random times the length of the article array, so how many elements there are, and that's going to give me a number between 0 and basically the last element of the article array, since we start counting with 0. And I'm going to take the floor of that. So I'm always going to get an integer. So I'm going to get an integer between 0 and whatever the length of the article is. And so I'm going to start to build my sentence. My sentence equals article sub I. So randomly generating the article. Then I randomly generate an adjective. Again, it doesn't matter how many words are in that array. I'm going to be able to pull from any of them using Math.random times the length of my adjective array. And I'm going to concatenate that with a space to my sentence. And then I'll do the same thing for a noun. Randomly pulling a word from the noun array, and then randomly pulling a word from the adverb, the verb, the prep, the article, the adjective, and a noun. That gives my sentence. I'm simply going to add a period at the end of that, and then display that in my sentence text box. That's all there is to it.